Oh, hello, great readers. I'm Bill Chan.
I'm Nimacum.
I'm Van Chan.
In this class, I'll read to all of you a part of Ulysses.
Bess.
L.
Ulysses. James Joyce. Chap. 1766. A querulous newborn female infant crying to cause and lessen congestion. A child renamed Padney Sockshishik with shock Simone Box counted his 3 free. Mana penny bones. 1. Dlu. Lee et al. Ible. A sailor she cast away blonde. Born of too dark. She had born ancestry. Brumut. A violation. Herhop Manhena. Austrian army. Proximate. A hallucination. Lieutenant Mulvey. British Navy. What endemic characteristics were present? Conversely, the nasal and frontal formation was derived in a direct line of lineage which, though interrupted, would continue at distant intervals to more distant intervals to its most distant intervals. What memories had he of her adolescence? She relegated her hoop and skipping rope to a recess. On the Duxlan, entreated by an English visitor, she declined to permit him to make and take away her photographic image objection note. Stated. On this south circular road in the company of Ilse Potter, followed by an individual of sinister aspect, she went halfway down Stamer Street and turned abruptly back. Reason of change not. Stated. On the vigil of the 15th anniversary of her birth, she wrote a letter from Anningar, County Westmeath, making a brief allusion to a local student faculty in You're Not stated. Did that first division, portending a second division, afflict him? Less than he had imagined, more than he had hoped. What second departure was contemporaneously perceived by him similarly, if differently? A temporary departure of his cat. Why similarly? Why differently? Similarly, because actuated by a secret purpose, the quest of a new male manning a student or of a healing or Valerian. Differently, because of different possible returns to the inhabitants or to the habitation. In other respects, were their differences similar? In passivity, in economy, in the instinctive tradition, in unexpectedness. Inasmuch as leaning she sustained her blonde hair for him to ribbon it for her. Fekichin cat. Moreover, on the free surface of the lake in Stephen's Green amid inverted reflections of trees, her uncommenced bit, describing concentric circles of waiterings, indicated by the constancy of its permanence the locus of a somnolent prostrate fish Mouse-watching cat. In order to remember the date, combatants, eschew and consequences of a famous military engagement, she pulled a plait of her hair. Fair washing cat. Furthermore, silly Millie. She dreamed of having had an unspoken, unremembered conversation with the horse whose name had been Joseph, to whom she had offered a tumbler full of lemonade with tea, had appeared to have accepted Claire's dreaming cat. Ants. In passivity, in economy, in the instinctive tradition, in unexpectedness. Their differences were similar. In what way had he utilised gifts one and all? 2 o'clock, giving his matrimonial auguries to interested instructor, as object lessons to explain one the nature and habits of overpressed animals, the possibility of aerial flight, certain abnormalities of vision, the secular process of embalsamation to the principle of the pendulum, exemplified in Bob, Wilger and regulator, the translation in terms of human ososocial regulation of the various positions of clockwise, movable indicators on an unmoving dial, the exactitude of the recurrence per hour of an instant in each hour window. Longer and the shorter indicator were at the same angle of inclination. Vitalized. 5 minutes past each hour per hour in arithmetical progression. In what manners did she reciprocate? She remembered, on the 27th anniversary of his birth, she presented to him a breakfast. Moss such a cup of imitation Crown Derby porcelain ware. She provided at quarter day or thereabouts if or when purchases had been made by him. Not for her, she showed herself attentive to his necessities, anticipating his desires. She admired an astral phenomenon having been explained by him to her. She expressed the immediate desire to possess without gradual acquisition a fraction of his science, the moiety, the quarter, the thousandth part. What proposal did Bloom, Diambulist, father of Millie, somnambulist, make to Stephen, noctambulist? To pass and repose the hours intervening between Thursday proper and Friday normal on an extemporis cubicle in the apartment immediately above the kitchen and immediately adjacent to the sleeping apartment of his host and hostess. What various advantages would or might have resulted from a prolongation of such an extemporization? For the guest, security of domicile and seclusion of study. For the host, rejuvenation of intelligence, vicarious satisfaction. For the hostess, disintegration of obsession, acquisition of correct Italian pronunciation. Why might these several provisional contingencies between a guest and a hostess not necessarily preclude, or be precluded by a permanent eventuality of reconciliatory union between a schoolfellow and his daughter? Because the way to daughter led through mother, the way to mother through daughter. To what inconsequent polysyllabic question of his host did the guest return a monosyllabic negative? Sir? If he had known the late Mrs. Emily Snickle, accidentally killed at Sydney Parade Railway Station, 14 October 1903. Wood and Shoal corollary statement was consequently suppressed by the host. A statement explanatory of his absence on the occasion of the interment of Mrs. Mary Diddlesbourne Gooding, 2016 1903. Vigil of the anniversary of the decease of Rudolph Bloomborn Varag. Was the proposal of asylum accepted? promptly, inexplicably, with amicability. Gratefully, it was declined. Why exchange of money took place between host and guest. The former returned to the latter, without interest, a sum of money 170, £1 7 shillings sterling, advanced by the latter to the former. What counter proposals were alternately advanced, accepted, modified, declined, restated in other terms, we accept, ratified, we confirmed, to inaugurate a prearranged course of Italian instruction, place the residence of the instructed, to inaugurate a course of vocal instruction, place the residence of the instructress, to inaugurate a series of static, semi-static and peripatetic intellectual dialogues, places the residence of both speakers if both speakers were resident in the same place. The Ship Hotel and Tavern, 6th floor, Abbey Street, W. Aini, Connery. Proprietors: the National Library of Ireland, 10 Culder Street. The National Maternity Hospital, 29, 30 and 31 Hall Street. A public garden. The vicinity of a place of worship. A conjunction of two or more public thoroughfares. The point of bisection of a right line drawn between their residences if both speakers were resident in different places. What rendered problematic for Bloom the realization of these mutually suffer-excluding propositions? The reparability of the past once at a performance of Obertengla Circus in the Wattender, Ortland Square, Dublin. An intuitive particularity climb in quest of paternity had penetrated from the ring to a place in the auditorium where Bloom, solitary, was seated and had publicly declared to an exhilarated audience that he, Bloom, was his, the clan's pawpaw. The imprevisibility of the future, once in the summer of 1890, Bloom had marked a foreign with 3 notches on the moldage and tendered it in payment of an account due to and received by J. and T. Davy, Family Gorses, 1 Charlemont Mall, Current Canal, for circulation on the waters of civic finance, for a possible, circuitous or direct, return. Was the clan Bloom's son? Had Bloom's going returned? I thought. Why would a recurrent frustration the more depress him? Because at the critical turning point of human existence he desired to amend many social conditions, the product of inequality and of race and international animosity. He believed then that human life was infinitely profitable. Eliminating these conditions, there remained the generic conditions imposed by natural, as distinct from human law, as integral parts of the human whole, the necessity of destruction to procure alimentary sustenance, the painful character of the ultimate functions of separate existence, the agonies of birth and death, the monotonous menstruation of simian and particularly human females, extending from the age of puberty to the menopause, inevitable accidents at sea. In mines and factories, certain very painful maladies and their resultant surgical operations. Innate lunacy and congenital criminality. Decimating epidemics, catastrophic cataclysms which make terror the basis of human mentality, seismic upheavals that epicenters of which are located in densely populated regions, the fact of vital growth, through convulsions of metamorphosis, from infancy through maturity to decay. Why did he desist from speculation? Because it was a task for a superior intelligence to substitute their more acceptable phenomena in the place of the less acceptable phenomena to be removed. Did Stephen participate in his dejection? He affirmed his significance as a conscious rational animal proceeding syllogistically from the known to the unknown, and a conscious rational reagent between a micro and a macrocosm ineluctably constructed upon the incertitude of the void. Was this affirmation apprehended by Bloom? Not verbally. Substantially. What comforted his misapprehension? That as a competent careless citizen he had proceeded energetically from the unknown to the known through the incertitude of the void. In what order of precedence? With what attendant ceremony was the exodus from the house of bondage to the wilderness of inhabitation effected? To be continued.